Hello guys, and welcome back to this new lecture. In this lecture what we're going to do is we're going to keep track of the missions, and also before playing any mission we're going to show some information that in which direction the car should be parked, and also we're going to show these images according to each mission. Okay, let me show the sprites. So for example, if it's the first mission, then we're going to show this image so that the player will know that in this direction we have to park this car. Okay, and the same for the other missions as well. Okay, I have all these images. So if you are using my type of missions, then these images will work for you as well. But if you design your missions by your own, then make sure that you park the car in the way in which you want to make that mission, for example in the straight direction or in the reverse direction, and then in the game view or in the scene view you can take a screenshot from it, and then you can change that image to sprite 2D and UI. Okay, and make sure the sprite mode is single if you are using some other missions and want to create images for that missions. Okay, so we have the images, so let's go ahead and first of all create the UI for showing the current mission information. So as you know that we have this mission info game object right here. In this what we're gonna do is we're gonna duplicate this mission failed. Let's change this from failed to mission information, for example. Okay, click on game view and make sure that this is activated like this. Okay, then we will change this from mission failed to mission text, and then we're gonna type default so that we know that this is the default text. Let me change its width to 1000. Okay, 1000 is a good value for this. Okay, later we will change this text to, for example, park car in reverse or park car straight. But for now this will be the default mission text. Okay, then after that, instead of this button we're gonna show an image. But first of all, let's move this mission text a little bit up here. Okay, at the top so that we can see it. If we check in simulator mode on Apple iPhone 12, as you can see, it looks really good. Let me check it. Here it is. Now after this we're gonna show a image as well. So for the image what we're gonna do is inside this mission information go ahead and create a UI image, name this as 1, and in this drag and drop this first car image, and then we have to change its width and height as well. So I'm gonna change the width to 1000 and the height should be, let's just say, 500. Okay, and now as you can see it fits this area. If we check it on a mobile phone, as you can see, it looks good, but we can select this image and move it down a little bit. Okay, in this way we're going to show the information. For example, this is the first mission, so it will be shown in a way like this: park car straight, and then we're going to show that how the car should be parked. Okay, now let's go back to the default text. Once we add this first image, then you can duplicate it, but first of all make sure that you deactivate it, then duplicate it, change it to 2, and now this time if you activate it and drag and drop the second image, okay, the second image looks good in it. So let's deactivate it again and now duplicate it till we reach our whole mission range, which are 8 missions. So we already did 3, now 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now let's rename them. So 3, then we have 4, then 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, we did till 2. As you can see, the source image is 2 in the second one. Now in the third one, we have to drag and drop the third image. In the fourth, drag and drop the fourth image. Then the same for the other missions as well. Okay, 7, and then we have this 8. Okay, and if you check them, they look good. Okay, we will be adding these cars in our fifth mission. For now we don't have them, but I'm gonna give you this car package, so then we will add it in the same way. Once you create the UI, then just make sure that all the images are deactivated, leave the mission pass text enabled, okay, and then just deactivate the mission information. Okay, and also let's change to game view back again. Now let's double click on our player car. Here it is. Now we want that whenever we are playing a new mission, we will show that information, park car straight or park car reverse, and then we're gonna show the image. Okay, so let's do that. For doing that, what we're gonna do now is, first of all, let's drag and drop this simple pixel UI in the game assets, and also drag and drop the sprites as well. Once you do that, then click on scripts, and inside the scripts, create a new script now by the name of game manager. Okay, it is created. Now you can click on environment, or actually let's add this game manager somewhere else. Let me create an empty game object right here, name this as game manager. You can move this at the top and then drag and drop the game manager script to it. After that, open up the game manager script. At the top, make sure that you add these two packages, which is unityengine.ui and then system.collection. After that, we're going to create an instance for this game manager script so that we can use this script data anywhere in our project freely. Okay, for creating that, we're going to say right here public static game manager instance. Right here we're going to say get and then private set. After this, we will create an awake method right here, for example. Right in this, we're gonna say instance equals to this. And also we want to keep this game manager across the scenes. Okay, so we will say don't destroy on load game object. Alright. And also we can check that if the instance is null, then create the instance and don't destroy it. Else, if it's not null, then we're gonna say destroy game object. Now let's create a reference to our mission information in which we have the mission text and the image. So right here I'm gonna create a game object reference, name this as mission information. After this, we need a reference to the mission text, so I'm gonna say public text. Let's name this as mission text label. Alright, then we need a reference to the images. As you know that we have more than one images, so I'm gonna make this image an array and name it as mission images. Alright, and as you know that we have a start point for each mission, so we need a reference to that start points as well. Okay, so I'm gonna make this transform an array so that we can add all of the start points and name this as mission start points. Alright, after this we need a reference to the player cars, so we will say public game object, and right here we will say player cars. Then after this we need a reference to the camera, or actually for now let's leave the camera and let's add a reference to a game objects array and name this as mission areas. Okay, in this array we will add all of the mission areas. Then we will create an integer which will be public by the name of current mission, and now using this we're gonna keep track that which mission is currently playing. Okay, and then create a bool, make this an array and name this as mission completed. Okay, this will be an array to track completed missions. Okay, then at the end we need a reference to the parking triggers, but actually let's just do this right after this mission areas. So public parking trigger will be equals to parking triggers. So these are all the variables which we will be needing for our game manager script. Okay, now right here let's add a start method. In the start method we will first of all initialize mission tracking, so we will say mission completed will be equals to new bool. Alright, then we will say mission start points dot length. Alright, now for showing the mission text, in which we either say car park in reverse or car park straight, and we show the appropriate image for the mission, for that we're gonna create now a method in order to do that stuff. So we're gonna name this method as update mission text. You can also name this update mission text and image, but I'm gonna keep it short and name it as update mission text. In here what we're gonna do is we're gonna first of all check that if the current mission is less than parking triggers dot length, and if the parking triggers from the parking trigger of the current mission, if that is reverse mission. Alright, so if that current mission is a reverse mission, then we will change the mission, what it's called, mission text label, I think. Okay, mission text label dot text will be equals to park car in reverse. Alright, and if it's not a reverse mission, then we're gonna change the mission text label to park car straight. Okay, and now for showing the appropriate image for the mission. For that we're going to use a for loop, okay, in which we're going to say that I is equals to 0, and then we're going to say that if I is less than the mission images dot length, then we're going to say I plus plus. Let me now go inside the curly brackets, and in here we're gonna now show the image. So we will say mission images, pass I to it, and then we're gonna say dot game object dot set active, and in here we're gonna say I equals to the current mission. Alright, so for example, if the current mission is 0, which means that if it is the first mission, because as you know that in programming one start from 0, okay, so let's just say if it is the first mission, then what it will do in the mission images, it will select the first image and set it to, and it will set that active, okay. And for example, if the current mission is then 2, then it will select the second image from the mission images array and set that active, okay. So in this way it's going to show the appropriate images according to the current mission, okay. And then right here, as you know that we are simply just saying if it's the reverse mission, then show this text, and if it's not, then show this text. And now, as you know that we will be showing the mission information just for a few seconds, okay. So in order to show it just for 2 or 3 seconds, for that let's create a enumerator type method by the name of display mission text. Let me make this T capital. Then in here we will say mission information dot set active. Let's set it to true. After that we want to wait for, let's just say, 2 seconds. So we will say yield return new, wait for seconds, and we want to wait for 2 seconds, and then after that we want to disable the mission information. So I'm gonna just set this to false then, okay. Then right down below, create a public method by the name of show mission text for current mission. In this we will call the update mission text method, and the method which we created right now, which is of enumerator type, which is this one, display mission text. So in order to call that, we will say start coroutine, and then we're gonna pass that method name in there, and then add the semicolon, okay. Now after this start method, we're gonna create one more method, name this as replay mission. This will need an integer, and name this as mission index. In here we're gonna say if the mission index is less than 0, okay, and the mission index is greater than or equals to the mission start points dot length, then we will return, okay. And then we're gonna set the current mission to the mission index, and we're gonna call the update mission text method, and then okay, we don't have that other methods for now, so we're just gonna call just this one, which is the update mission text. Okay, then right here in the start method, right after this, we're gonna call the method which is show mission text for current mission. Save the script, get back to Unity and click on game manager. Right here we need to provide the mission information game object, so drag and drop that, then the mission text label which is right here. After this, the mission images, so let me log the game manager, okay, so that it doesn't move, and select all of the images and drag and drop them, and make sure they are in line like this, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, after the images we need to provide the mission start points. Okay, so as you know, for this mission the car position will be that, and for this one it will be this position. Actually, let me unlock the inspector and change this from car position to start point for mission 1, then for mission 2 as well. Okay, for mission 3 as well. Select the car position and name it as start point. Then for 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, select their car position right here as well. Okay, select all of them and then change its name to start point. Okay, once you do that, then in the hierarchy you can search for start point and you can select these 8 start points. Okay, so select them, let's cross that. Let me click on game manager and lock it and then search for it again. Okay, start point, here they are. Select all of them and drag and drop it in the start point array, then remove that. And now we're gonna check that if they are assigned correctly or not. So if we select the first one, as you can see, it open up the mission 1 start point. It is correct. Now it open up the second mission, third, fourth. Okay, this is fourth, this is fifth. Then we have 6, 7, and 8. Okay, they are assigned correctly one by one. After the start points, we need to add the player cards. For now, we just have one, so I'm gonna just drag and drop it. Then we need to add the mission areas. As you can see, we have these 8 areas, so I'm gonna drag and drop that 8 areas, all the missions. Okay, then the parking triggers. So now, as you can see, their name are parking trigger in all of the missions. So let me search for parking trigger. Here they are. Select all of them and drag and drop it in the parking trigger. Then cross that. Okay, and let's test all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, they are assigned correctly. That's it. Now for the mission completed and the current mission, they will be automatically added. Okay, For now we are not passing any mission, we just want to show the text for each mission. Okay, so we can leave that as it is. And you can click on game view and then go ahead and start the game. And when you start the game, the first mission will be played, and as you can see it shows park car straight. Okay, and now we need to park the car straight in there. Now as you can see, mission passed. It doesn't update the current mission, and it also didn't set this to true. Okay, because as I told you, we will be changing the missions. Okay, we will be passing the missions, but for now we are not doing that, so that's why I didn't do anything. But for now, if you notice, it shows that it shows the current mission text and image as well, park car straight. Okay, now in the next video what we're gonna do is, for example, this is the player car. If we move it there, and if it's the first mission, okay, and if we play the game, it will show the mission info. But if you notice it, the car is right here, and we don't want that. And also all the missions are also active in the game. Okay, so we can just go ahead and complete any of the mission. We don't want that. We want that if it's the first mission, then spawn the car at the first mission start point and only show the first mission. Okay, and if it's the second, then the same for the second one, and the same for the other missions as well. Okay, so in the next video we will be doing this. Okay, let me now move the car back right there, and actually let's move it back, because in the next video we are spawning this car at this position anyway. Okay, so now with this done, see you guys in the next one.